Once upon a time, when I started bouldering, I had a fear of falling. But I found the perfect recipe after researching and researching and researching to get over my fear. And that's what you'll be learning today. So today we're going to cover how to fall, how not to fall, and the steps to overcome your fear of falling from a bouldering wall. Now, I'm Paul. I run Rock Climbing Central, which is a blog and a YouTube channel now. I've been rock climbing for quite a long time now, for a few years. And I just want to pass on everything that I can do to anybody that's struggling or anybody that needs any sort of help in any area of rock climbing. And it seems to me that the fear of falling is one of them. The fear of falling, it's quite easy to get over once you actually get into rock climbing and bouldering. But you have to definitely learn a few things before you can get over the fear. When I say a few things, I mean mainly two things. The two things are how to fall off a bouldering wall and how not to fall off a bouldering wall. The fear itself is actually quite easy once you've repeated a few steps. So let's go over how to fall and how not to fall off a bouldering wall. So when you're talking about how to fall off a bouldering wall, the first thing we need to do if we realize we are falling is you need to push yourself away from the wall. Now usually this is only really on slabs and straight angles where we really need to do this, because if you're on an overhang usually you fall back anyway, so that's fine usually. When it comes to slabs, you're falling into the wall. As you're falling into the wall, obviously you can hit your face, especially when there's steep slabs. But so there's quite an easy way of doing this. As soon as you realise you're falling off the bouldering wall, just push yourself off. Now the second thing you need to do is look down. Now by looking down, you can actually avoid certain hazards as you're falling a lot of the time, which you obviously you want to do. You don't want to fall on top of anybody, but you also don't want to fall on top of any equipment that might be your own or somebody else's, because that could actually damage you and their equipment. So looking down is always a good option. The third thing you need to do is engage your neck muscles, and this is a really easy thing to do when you're actually falling. All you need to do is tuck your chin. Just make yourself have a double chin. I'm just looking at myself in the screen right now, just seeing my double chin. So tuck your chin, because when you tuck your chin, you engage the neck muscles around, and this makes sure that you don't get whiplash. And we don't want you to get whiplash. So that's the third thing. And now the fourth thing you need to do is bend your knees and roll back, which a lot of people do not do, and they really need to, because bending your knees takes the pressure off your knees. If you keep your legs straight, it puts all the pressure on your knees and the pressure on your lower back as well, and it takes the fall and into those areas. So bend your knees and then roll backwards. Don't roll forwards, and we'll talk about why not in a minute. So roll backwards onto your back, and then the fifth thing is, if you can do, break fall. So what I mean by break fall is you want to cup your hands. We used to do this in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when I used to do Jiu-Jitsu. So you want to break fall and slap the floor with both hands as you hit the floor. Now what that does is it takes away the pressure that's going to go onto your back. You don't have to do this. This is only if it's more of a hard fall, that it's a faster fall and a harder fall as you go down to your back. You just want to slap the mat as you go down, if you can do, just to take the pressure off your back. If you are falling from a horizontal overhang, so a roof or a cave or anything like that, then you again want to break fall and take all of that onto your back as well. So that's your main thing when it comes to how to fall. So take the fall with a break fall. How not to fall. Now we did talk about a few things in that last segment about how not to fall. I'll mention that in here, but The first thing is don't stick the landing, and I did actually mention that. So what I mean by that is don't keep your legs straight. Like I've said, the reason why is you'll put all the pressure onto your knees and your back, and as you get older, your knees will start to fail and your lower back will start to fail, and we really don't want that. A lot of climbers, or should I say older climbers, who haven't learned how to fall and who actually jump from a wall rather than climb down, have problems with their back. So the more you fall and the more you fall wrong, the more problems you're going to have with your back and your knees as you get older. So avoid it at all costs if you can, and also if you are going to fall properly. So the second thing you do not want to do is roll forwards, and the reason why is because you don't want to face plant. Nobody wants to face plant. It's not a nice feeling. I've done it many times, not just on a climbing wall, but nobody wants to face plant. It does hurt. That's why I look like this. Yeah. Don't roll forwards. The third thing you don't want to do is don't try and stop yourself with outstretched arms or hands, because if you do, you can guess what's going to happen. You might break an arm, break a forearm, break hands, break a wrist, something like that. Do not fall with outstretched arms or hands. The fourth thing you need to not do is don't land on your heels, your toes, or the side of your foot. Now, this is the last thing that you really shouldn't do. So don't fall on parts of your feet which can cause you a sprained ankle or a broken toe or an Achilles tendon snap, something like that. There is a way to fall correctly, and you'll be fine most of the time. Very rarely that you're not if you fall correctly. Okay, so those are the ways to fall and not to fall. Now we need to talk about the steps to actually overcome your fear of falling. The first thing you need to do is practice falling correctly many times before you do these steps. So once you've practiced that from either standing or from about a meter up a bouldering wall, then we can go on with doing this. Your main thing is knowing how to fall, because you're going to be falling a lot doing this. These steps are the ways that I overcame my fear of falling. You need to climb until you're afraid. So climb up your bouldering wall until you're afraid. So let's say most people are scared of slabs. So go on a slab and climb as far as you can until you are scared. Once you are scared, fall off. Use the correct way. Now, if you don't want to fall off, fair enough. Climb a slight bit down until you're not as afraid, and then fall off. Repeat the process until you are scared, climb, and then fall off. Keep doing this until you overcome your phobia of that certain height, when your body realizes that there's not actually much of a problem as long as you fall correctly from that height. Then try and go further up, and keep doing this until you reach around about 3 to 3.5 meters, because we don't really want to fall off constantly over and over again from a certain height, because it can damage us. I would advise you to try and find a mat which is very spongy, and also I might even advise you to bring your own crash pads with you to the bouldering gym so you've got even more cushion, because you are going to be falling off a lot, and you do want to have cushion when you fall off. It's a good idea to do that. Okay, so that is the way to get over the fear of falling. It's a cliche. You've got to overcome your phobia by facing your phobia. But as long as you just keep repeating a process of going up to a certain height where you are just afraid, fall off until your mind realizes there's no real reason to be afraid at that height, and then keep going up from there. This might take you no time at all to overcome your fear, but it might also take you quite a while. It just depends on your mindset, it depends on your confidence, it depends on other things that have happened to you in the past. Maybe you've had a trauma of some sorts with heights or falling that obviously I don't know about. And this might take a while before you can get over it. But the best thing I can advise you is to overcome your fear by facing your fear. That's all it is. one little tip that I can give you is, if you are on a climbing wall and you do feel that fear and you do want to keep going, but you're also feeling that fear, breathe. Just, if you can, 6 deep breaths. Try not to become too dizzy from them. So maybe make them 3 to 6 deep breaths, but I can have 6 deep breaths without becoming dizzy. It just depends on you. So 6 deep breaths if you can. It changes your state. It's been proven to change your state at 6 deep breaths, and it makes you feel more calm, and then you might have the confidence to keep going. So that's just one little tip for you from the steps as well. So if I've helped you guys, I would love for you to like and subscribe to this channel. So like this video, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to keep making as many videos as I can for you, just to help you, give you a lot more information. I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. So thank you for watching.